The fine line between order and chaos can be drawn in fire.
Welcome to my walk-in closet.
These boxes and bins are indicative of Marjorie Cranston, living in 3 different places over the last 12 months.
You're just waiting all the time to go home.
The home taken away by the East Troublesome Fire, burning that line across Grand County on October 21st last year.
I had no idea what was about to happen. So a neighbor came and got me, and he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm just going to have dinner." And he said, "No, you're not. You get in your car now." And I turned around and I said goodbye to my home.
She snapped this photo of the flames coming over the hill, and within minutes, Cranston says nearly all that she owned was destroyed.
There's no way to describe that. Everything in your life is gone. All your memories, everything.
The next week, the next phase began towards reconstruction.
It was going to be the next fire in a way, the trial that came afterwards.
The trial of dealing with 5 different insurance adjusters and their need to have all of her belongings documented.
There are 12 pages of inventory here.
When all of her documents were burned up.
Everything in that house I had to try to recover in my brain.
She was supposed to remember painstaking details of cost and use and origin of everything.
There's more spreadsheets here in case the insurance wanted receipts.
Cranston felt like a victim of the fire once again and again for the next year till now.
I threw things. I was so angry. I thought, how can you lose your whole life and then try to recapture it and then go through this hell?
Liaison for fire recovery for the Grand County Builders Association.
Bob Hunnis is a construction engineer hired to help people like Cranston navigate the recovery process.
Almost everyone is underinsured. It turns out that the market value of a house is not much of an indication of what it will cost to rebuild it.
Hunnis knows because he is one of them.
So our home was where you see this level pad.
The fire burned up the hill and took his home of 17 years.
But there were 366 homes like ours that were lost in the fire.
Hunnis tried to set up reconstruction 2 days later.
I was a little bit disappointed when I called the builder and he said, "I'd love to help you, but," he said, "I'm fully booked up for 2021.
Hunnis says that's been the reality for many trying to rebuild. More demand, less supply.
This is what it is. And almost no one in the county has actually been able to rebuild and move back in.
There's already a worker shortage, supply chain problems, and rising costs of materials, in addition to being underinsured.
We just got our first budget, and so we're about to redesign the house to make it small enough that we can afford it.
The building costs are exorbitant.
Cranston wishes somewhere off-site she kept a record of her things,
This is a lifetime.
backed up by photos.
Yes, probably open the drawers, take a video, prepare, understand that this is probably protocol for most insurance companies.
And so this is one of our lessons learned, is that people need to be proactive in their own best interest to document what they own.
And Hunnis says, make sure your coverage actually covers all.
There are definitely a number of people that are going to have a difficult time recovering.
1 year later, order begins to grow out of the chaos.
You couldn't see most of that hillside over there because this was solid timber.
But using mulch and seed, the forest is coming back.
It's interesting to note, here we are a year later, look how green a lot of things are.
Family heirlooms have been found.
We didn't even see it because it was just buried in ash. It's a Singer sewing machine.
This is a special one to me.
Cranston is finding peace.
This is all burned.
She's a professional artist, painting the healing landscape to heal herself.
I have to admit I had to have some help because mentally you're anguished. And so I had to do some therapy, a lot of prayer.
And this is going to be an ongoing process. It's going to be, I'm going to say, 3 years before a lot of people really are back to any semblance of normalcy.
I can't wait. This is the kitchen.
Cranston is one of the fortunate ones. Her rebuild is moving along.
This is the non-existent bed that I can't wait to get into.
The line between chaos and order is finally leading her back home.
You know, the boxes that you photographed, there won't be any. The containers will be empty. Nice.
With photojournalist Tom Cole,
The fire didn't win. It didn't win.
Nelson Garcia, 9 News.
Now, Hunnis is scheduled to have his home rebuilt sometime in 2022. A year later now, Grand County has only issued about 90 permits to rebuild, less than 25% of the 366 homes that were lost.
The Grand County Foundation has been helping fire victims over the past year with an emergency assistance fund, and we have information on that at 9news.com. People impacted by the fire can also get free counseling services through Mind Springs Health in Grand County. They're funded by the Grand Foundation. Colorado Crisis Services also has a 24/7 hotline.